Ride, man. Let's go for a ride.
For the law enforcement officer, the question of attitudes, his and those he will deal with, importance. Let us view this incident from two vantage points.
No, man, we need a station wagon, man. Make us look big, man. We don't need no Cadillac. You don't see no... You don't see a Cadillac and look better.
From this point of view, it looks like this. A group of young men having a little innocent fun on a street corner.
I know they're coming over here.
The law enforcement officer approaching the group, the nightstick, the uniform, creates a hostile, menacing image.
I know they're coming over. It's my car, my car. Mine. It's really my mother's car.
Unnecessary physical contact further escalates the sense of hostility.
Where's your permit?
Also, it's in my other pants, man.
Where's your other pants at?
In my closet.
You don't look like you have... Hey, get off the car. Get your hand off the car. Get off the car.
Get
off the car. Off the car.
This arbitrary and threatening attitude is seen as further proof of hostility.
Get off. What do you got to do with it?
No more.
I'm with you. Back up the car. Get off the car. Off the car.
Mother, let's sit on. Get off the car.
Hey, tell what you tell this man.
Get off. Come on, man.
Let's go. Get off the car, punk.
When viewed through the eyes of the group, it is therefore no surprise that this interpretation may result in the situation getting out of hand.
Before you retire.
Now let's turn it around and look at the same incident from the point of view of the law enforcement officer.
Take that shit home, man. We ain't doing nothing wrong.
From this vantage point, the hostility, anger, and negative attitudes of the group, perceived by the law enforcement officer, influence his behavior.
Get off the car. I told you the car was
Get off the car.
I don't care whose car it is. Get off the car.
Well,
get that shit back to the precinct, man. Get that. Come on. Hey, come on.
The dynamics of the situation are indeed a question of attitudes.
And here he is, Officer Friendly.
What's up, fellas?
Not much.
What do you plan on doing here?
Loiter a little bit.
Yeah, loiter a little bit. Whose car?
My car.
Let's see your registration for the car.
It's in my other pants, you know.
You don't look like you have another trespass.
You got
Get off the car.
Watch that window, man. Hey, you
I
know.
told you to get off the car.
No, I ain't getting off no car.
Attitudes, a very important element in shaping the behavior of people, is what we want to take a look at today. Attitudes are tied in with feelings, beliefs, opinions. People have feelings, beliefs, opinions, or views about all sorts of things. The way people feel about things determines, to a great extent, what they do about them. It is common knowledge that everyone develops attitudes, and the important thing to bear in mind is that behavior is influenced by them. Attitudes are definitely an important factor in police performance. Your attitudes and those of the people you contact. There is a point which you as a police officer should always keep in mind. It is a very important point and one which has far-reaching significance for your success in dealing with people. The point is this: the way a person reacts to you depends to a considerable extent on what he thinks your attitude is. Notice that I did not say his reaction depends upon your attitude. What I said was, it depends on what he believes your attitude is. The same is true of your reaction to persons you contact. What you say and do, and what the other person sees, may be quite different. But what you do is based upon your concept of reality. You cannot actually see an attitude. All that you can do is make inferences from the behavior that a person holds a certain attitude. Now, the inferences you make about the attitudes of a person with whom you have contact help to determine the way you react to him. On the other side, John Q. Citizen's reading of your attitude helps to determine his reaction to you. If it appears to you that you are facing a man who detests police or who regards you with contempt, your reaction to him will be quite different, naturally, than it would be if he seems to be reasonable and respectful. For his part, the citizen reacts to you also according to his judgments of your attitudes toward him. In this respect, there is nothing essentially different about police and citizen contacts. Attitudes play a similar role between people in all walks of life.
The first situation we will examine is that of a simple one-to-one relationship between officer and citizen. His very first contact with this citizen is overly aggressive and threatening.
Let me see your permit, mister.
His approach serves to intimidate and anger the motorist.
You from out of town?
Yes, sir.
Where are you living now?
New York.
Pardon?
New York.
New York?
Yes, sir.
About all you New Yorkers drive the same way. They don't make those lights back there any redder than what you just come through. I'm very sorry about that.
It is possible now to analyze the same incident and note the key differences that can bring about a far more productive result. The officer is professional in his approach and yet keeps personal attitudes outside of his contact with the motorist. He places his motorcycle behind the car and acts to reduce the anxiety already present in the situation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, officer. Did I do something wrong?
Yes, sir. We have a red light back here at the corner of...
By removing his sunglasses and unbuckling his helmet, he further reduces tension. His tone of voice is firm, but not overly hostile or threatening.
I see you're from New York.
Yes, I am, officer.
It's quite heavy traffic up there, sir.
I know, but I try not to drive too much in New York either.
Well, are you a tourist or are you just down here working for the government?
No, I'm a tourist, officer.
I see. How long are you going to be in Washington?
Oh, about 4 or 5 more days, I believe.
The difference in the two approaches can readily be seen, and the attitude of the citizen toward the police is strongly affected by which method the officer chooses to adopt.
In Washington, a little more pleasant, but you're going to have to be much more aware in traffic because passing a red light is one of the major causes of fatality accidents in this city.
I see, officer.
All right, sir. I'll be right back.
Take your buck for crying out loud. Leave me alone. Give me the buck. I don't have your dollar. If I took your dollar, you think you'd be walking around.
Our second situation involves a brawl taking place in front of a bar. Again, the police officer can act either to escalate or reduce the violence already present in the situation.
All right, knock it out. All right, knock it out. Knock it out. What's going on? All right, let me...
In this instance, a hasty and violent approach fails to reduce the levels of anger and hostility. Now let's consider another approach.
Took a buck out the bar.
Oh, now it's $1. It was 50 cents when I was in here 5 minutes ago.
I had it.
Put it in your...
Get your hands off of there.
Don't hit my hand when I'm...
Just that.
Don't do that.
In this instance, the police officers act to reduce the conflict and separate the participants, offering a reasonable and effective alternative.
What do you mean, what's the problem? He makes $7 an hour. He's bitching about 7.
Ain't a friend of yours?
He used to be a friend of mine.
How long you been knowing?
No, 7 years. Why?
7 years? Come
Yeah.
now.
That son of a gun called me a liar in front of all my friends inside there.
Yeah, but y'all had arguments before, haven't you?
I'm sitting there. I go into John, I come out, there's a buck missing head in front of my
Hold
beard.
it down. Who got your dollar?
This guy over
How do you
here.
know he got your dollar?
I was
See?
sitting there, I put the dollar, had
All
some
right, check
change
your
in front of my
pockets.
beard.
Check your
I
pockets.
checked my pockets.
Check them again.
I ain't
How
got
much you
nothing.
been drinking tonight?
I only had a couple of beers.
How
This
many?
guy's in a couple of beers.
All
I
right.
go to John, I come back. This
You
guy
want
was going
to
out
press
the door.
charges? Huh?
I don't want to press no charges when you get the dollar.
No, we're not gonna lock you up. We think that you're still gonna be friends. All you need to do is talk to each other. If you talk to each other, I'm sure you'll sell the whole thing amongst yourselves. There won't be no problem at all, okay?
Okay.
You ready to go over and talk to him? You gonna be friends now? Not argue? Come on now, shake hands. Well, you know what we used to.
I didn't take it. I swear I didn't take it. You know, I didn't take it.
The end result of this second approach reduces the incidence of violence, avoids adding another case to the already crowded court dockets, and tends to create a more positive attitude on the part of the public toward the law enforcement officer. In our third situation, the police have received a call from a local high school that a small group of students are blocking the entrance to the school and creating a disturbance in front of it. The school authorities have asked the police to remove the students from the front of the school. The approach of two of the officers, the way they walk, where they hold their hands, the expression on their faces, telegraphs their basic attitudes.
Okay, let's break it up. Break it up. Let's get out of here. Come on. I don't care what your problem is. Let's get your ass somewhere else.
Without waiting for an explanation, the police officers give orders in a hostile tone. This simply magnifies an already difficult situation.
Let's go. Get your ass up in here.
By venting their own hostility on the students, the situation not only gets out of hand quickly, but results in unnecessary violence to student and police alike. The end result is not only that the police officers engage in violent flare-ups with the students, but the general relationship between police and community has been damaged. Now let's watch the same situation handled quite differently. The officers approach in a relaxed, non-threatening manner.
Now, what seems to be the problem,
Hey,
fellas?
we not bothering y'all, so why should y'all come bothering us?
I tell you, you're all standing here now, you're blocking the entrance of the school so that others cannot come in. Now, what seems to be the problem? Why don't everybody sit down and listen for a minute?
Their tone of voice is authoritative, professional, but reasonable. In situations involving large groups of people where there is present a great deal of built-in hostility, it lies within the ability of the police officer to reduce that hostility or magnify it. Everything he says or does affects the outcome.
The class teacher put you out the room until you get a pass. Get the pass, he tell you to go out the room anyway.
Do a report on such and such.
Well,
So
I
what
tell you what,
happens
this is not the
then?
way to take care of the problem. You don't stand out here because it's illegal to stand out here and block the entrance of a school.
This is illegal.
Right.
Man, those teachers in there always messing with somebody. Somebody going to the gym, gonna change up, you gotta get
I
fired.
be here every day. I be right here. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, wait, just a minute. See, what you got to realize is what is illegal, you're taking this out against, who are you taking this out on? What is being illegal?
On the teacher.
On the teacher, well, the teachers are inside.
Well, we doing this for ourselves. We want education too, you know.
Well, okay, but what you're going to have to do is get your group together. Not
We together.
No, you together. Okay, right, now so you together. But you got to be organized in such a way that when you go up there to talk to them, they'll listen to you.
They don't listen to nobody. They don't listen to nobody. It's hard, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Every time you try to do something to help yourself, somebody got to come in and mess it up.
No, but they're not interested in what you're doing out here. It's our problem once you come out here, the police problem.
You know, that's all right. That's all right. Why don't you come back here tomorrow morning, man? Right here, right here.
And let someone
I'm not leaving. I'm doing something. After every damn time.
Y'all was man, y'all finna know what you in the first place.
Come back. I want y'all to leave it alone. I've done that for you. I want y'all to leave it alone.
Why not?
Well, I'm not.
Are you going to talk to the principal? How are you accomplishing anything by just standing out here?
Oh, man, I ain't got no business talking to him. You leave the school, you get locked up. You stay to school, you get locked up. Why you saying? Let him try to put me off the sidewalk.
In each of these situations, we have clearly seen how the attitudes and approaches of the police officer have had a decisive and vital effect on the end result.
Meet me on your lunch hour. That's what you get.
In practical terms, The management of attitudes by police officers can be summed up in a few points. 1, an officer's private attitudes should not be permitted to influence his official decisions. He must strive for a high degree of objectivity in his work. In short, he should not make judgments on the basis of his own ideas of right and wrong or his likes and dislikes. 2, an officer should not become personally involved when making an arrest. He must not look upon a violation as a personal affront. It is a wrong against the state, the people, and not against him personally. 3, nobody and nothing in the rules require an officer to like the people he deals with. Similarly, and more important, nobody and nothing in the rules says he must dislike them. However, bear in mind that if people either see or believe that you dislike them, your contact will always be more difficult and less effective. Remember the old proverb, it is easier to catch flies with sugar than with vinegar. 4, do not permit people to goad you into showing anger. There is another old saying, he who angers you conquers you. 5, try to show an attitude of neutrality and objectivity. Let people see that there is nothing personal in what you are doing when your contact is of an adversary type. You are acting officially and according to the rules. An attitude of sympathy and human concern would, of course, be appropriate in a contact in which you are rendering a helpful service. By showing that there is nothing personal in your actions in an adversary contact, you will focus the hostility of the people on the system and not on you personally. This will also help you avoid charges of brutality, rudeness, or lack of courtesy.